Hey guys, welcome back to Potentially Great. I'm your host, Haley Weber. Per usual, I hope that you're in either some nice comfy clothes or that you're dressed and feeling good for your day. And I hope that your face has been washed at some point today. Personal hygiene is key. And lastly, I hope you have something nice to drink. Today I'm drinking water. Yummy. Today I'm talking about something that is very, very important to talk about. Prevalent, I think, even, because it's not something that a lot of people really think to talk about, at least in my opinion. I think it's because, a lot of people, we're not really, trained to look deeper into ourselves, and if you are, congratulations, you're doing great, love that for you. But I know a lot of other people who just never really think to do that, or maybe are too scared to do that because it's an unknown part of ourselves, and the unknown is scary. But I found out some stuff about myself today that I was really scared to dive into, honestly. I was kind of like, what if I don't do that? What if I just think about it for a second, not go any deeper? But then I thought about it and I was like, girl, if you do that, it's gonna come up later and it's gonna be significantly worse, because that's how it always is. You know, when you have those little nagging feelings where maybe you're upset with somebody and you don't say something and you just keep doing that, and then all of a sudden it explodes. Or something happens where even in your head, you might just have that little twinge of that's going to come up later. I should figure that out before it does. And then you don't, and then it comes up, and then you're totally unprepared. That's what this was for me. Also, disclaimer, if you hear snoring in the background, that's my dog. She does that. So this all started because I met somebody today, and this has happened before where, from my perspective, they were more outgoing than me, funnier than me, more talented, prettier, whatever. Comparison is the thief of joy. We all know that, blah, 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 whatever. You compare. We all compare. It's just a natural thing to do. What you do with it is what matters. And that kind of goes for everything. So I was thinking about this person because I met them for a little bit and then they left. And this was a person that I was told was pretty much me. And I was told that as a compliment, which I love, and she was a very, very nice person, and she was funny and outgoing and talkative, and I loved her, but I also hated her, and not in a way where I was like, oh, I really hate that person. It was just in a way where I was like, there's something about her that I don't like, but I also have the awareness to understand that it's not her, it's me. And that was the feeling where I was like, I need to dive deeper into this because I want to be her friend. She seems really, really cool. But I don't want to constantly be comparing myself to her, and I don't want to constantly be feeling like I'm in competition with her, because I'm not. I'm not. The only person who can make it a competition between us is me. And why would I do that? Literally, why? That doesn't make any sense. So I dove into this, and I was wondering why I was doing that, because there really was no prevalent reason to me. The very surface level reason would be, oh, well, I just think she's better than me, so I'm jealous of her. But then I was like, Haley, why do you think that? Why do you think that she's better than you? Why would you be jealous of her? Why? You gotta ask yourself why, So then I kind of dove deeper into it. And I was like, okay. Well, I think she's better than me because she seemed really, really outgoing, and I have the tendency to become more introverted when there's somebody else in the room who's more extroverted than I am. This has just been a phenomenon in my life. I don't know why this happens. It just does. And it's something that I've actually been actively working on to keep my upbeat personality even when somebody else in the room is also upbeat. And you would think that if there was somebody else who was also that extroverted, that we would just bounce off of each other. But for some reason, I just get closed off. And we're going to dive deeper into that as well, because I want to figure that out really badly. And what better place to do that than on a public platform? So this girl in particular was more extroverted than I am. As soon as she got to where I was, I noticed that she was really, really good at greeting people. She said people's names with so much enthusiasm, hugged them right away, and it seemed confusing to me because from my perspective, these were people that she had either only just met, had only met once or twice, And then there was like maybe one person who she had seen repeatedly, but she was talking to these people and talking about these people as if she'd known them for her entire life. And I'm not gonna lie, like these were people that I either wanted to be close with, or there was one person in particular that I am really close with, and I got really jealous. And I didn't like that part of me. I was like, why am I feeling so threatened by this girl who I just met? Who I'm also aware that she's only talking from her perspective. And I'm also only gathering this information from my perspective, you know? Like the things that she's saying, the way that she's talking about people, that just might be how she talks about people. And I think that's a really beautiful thing, to talk about people with so much love and so much understanding. And she was right about them. Like the things that she was saying, I think that's what bothered me so much, is I was like, I've spent more time with these people than you have, and yet you're so right and knowledgeable about them. How do you do that? And also thinking about it, I mean, I guess I've done similar things, but she just said it with so much conviction that I was like, It's also kind of the thing where when someone is a reflection of you, you start noticing the little things that maybe other people didn't really like about you. Or you start noticing, I mean, people say that it's like the things that you really hate about yourself are the things that bother you about your reflection, if that makes sense. But these weren't things that I didn't like about myself. These were things where I was thinking to myself, why can't I do that? These are things that I want to be better at and that I'm trying to be better at, but I struggle at. And so I think the fact that I have been compared to this girl by other people, have been told that she is so similar to me, and I see her succeeding in these areas of life where I am still trying to figure stuff out, it was frustrating. But I also need to be knowledgeable and compassionate to myself, and also understand that this is all my perspective of her. She could be thinking the exact same thing. She could also, maybe she was talking so much and talking about these people in that way because she was nervous. Maybe she wanted to come off that way because she was kind of the odd person out there, you know? She didn't really have a connection to a lot of us. But I also think that it was important for me to see her, because I think I just needed to see somebody act that way and understand that being your true self, even if she was nervous, she was really, really genuine, it seemed like. And that shouldn't be a bad thing. And it shouldn't be something that you hide. I think that all throughout my life, I've been more hesitant. This is specifically with greeting people. All throughout my life, I've been more hesitant to get close to people right away. And not in a way where I don't share anything with anybody. I'm very, very open. I'll tell you pretty much anything about my life. It doesn't really matter to me. And I love to ask people questions about their life. I'm very inquisitive. However, when it comes to genuinely forming a connection with somebody that I actually want to be friends with, I get so nervous. When I was younger, I'm better about it now, but when I was younger, I would wait until the very last minute to be friends with somebody. If I was around my family at a family gathering, you could bet that I would be hanging on my mom's arm until that last 15 minutes. And then I would go off with the other cousins, or I would go off with an aunt and uncle, and I would have the best time. And I would finally open up. If I was at the theme park even, I would wait until the last hour to decide to ride a ride. Now, I mean, having grown up, I love theme parks, ride rides all the time, so much fun. But I also throw myself into situations that may be really, really uncomfortable, but it makes it so much more comfortable. Now, I love talking to Uber drivers. I love starting conversations with strangers. I think it's so much fun. I ask for recommendations in the grocery store. I have started opening up more around people that I should be close to and showing more of my actual personality to them, because I tend to come off really reserved around the people that matter. Maybe not so much even matter, but just the people who I'm expected to be open with. I think that a lot of that is where the resentment came from for this girl, because she was close to the people that I was supposed to be close to. Or it came off that she was close to the people that I was supposed to be close to. And I think it was a really big awakening for me. And honestly, a slap in the face, the best slap in the face I could have asked for. This girl was the kindest, most open person I've spoken to lately. And I really want to be her friend. I'm really happy that I met her, because although it was so frustrating and I did go home and cry, because I was just in awe. I was like, why can I not be like that? Why can I not be like that? I can be like that. It's years of practice, because maybe she grew up that way. Maybe that's just how she was, which means that she's practiced it so many more times than I have. Because my practice when I was younger was to wait. Wait to show your true personality. Wait to ride the roller coasters. Wait to make a friend. And now, I've only spent 22 years on this earth. And just now, within the past, I don't even know, senior year of high school, that would have been 18? So within the past 6 years, of the 22 years of earth, if that makes sense, I've decided to start throwing myself out there and doing whatever I want to do. So yeah, she has more on me than that. But I think that this is a really good lesson for all of us to learn, and that if you find yourself not liking somebody or comparing yourself to them, ask yourself why. Because it probably isn't you. Or honestly, no, it probably isn't the other person. Nothing that she did gave me a valid reason to be like, she rubbed me the wrong way. I just didn't like her. No. What she did showed me parts of myself that I need to work on. Parts of myself that I have the ability to work on, because she made them prevalent. And I'm actually really excited to go on that journey, if I'm being honest with you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and we can finish it with the next one. Bye.